Welcome to the Wilby High School English Minute. Today we'll be discussing the second half of the novel Ready Player One.
So, what did you guys think of the story?
I thought it was good in comparison to the movie.
I actually prefer the movie better than the book.
Why is that?
Well, there's certain scenes in the movie that weren't in the book. It's like, you know, like I
prefer the movie as well.
See? It's a 2-on-2. The tie.
But if you think about it, the movie did take out some important details, and it did switch around major change of events that wasn't supposed to happen when it was supposed to happen.
I think the book added too many details, and like the book was just too long. The movie, like there was a lot of action in the movie. There's a lot of things that happened. And the story, all the drama. There was still drama in the book.
Yeah, you can get
but all the part where
everything that's going on, like you could see the visual and you could be like,
yeah,
this is what's happening.
Yeah, I understand. Like especially like the battle part. Like I understand. Like we would have needed a movie for that to like more visualize it.
Yeah, and I think that when you actually watch the movie, I feel it gets way better because of that. Like you see that visual and you're like, this actually might seem a little bit better.
Yeah, I just enjoyed so much of the book suspense, like especially parts of them meeting Artemis and like all of the high five like being together in one area.
Ooh, above that, what do you think about Wade finally meeting Artemis in the end? What are your thoughts about it?
In the book, I believe it's well deserved. In the movie, I believe that's one of the main things why I dislike the movie.
Yeah,
it disrupted that entire plot tree that was in the novel compared to in the movie. If Steven Spielberg didn't use her as well as a plot device as he could have in comparison to the professional writer who wrote the entire book.
Well, I mean, in the movie they did meet up.
But it wasn't as dramatic as it was in the...
Yeah, because in the movie they met up earlier than in the books. In the book they met up at the end, and when actually Wade actually won the contest, they met up. But in the movie they actually met up a little bit earlier, and they actually fought their way together.
I believe it was one more thing for Wade, like to add to his driving character. They just adds a little bit, one more layer of depth to him.
Yeah. We weren't around in the 1980s, but did this make it harder for you for the story?
No, not exactly. They made it more of a
learning experience.
Yeah, and it was more like technology savvy and all that. So it's
especially with like the games and.
Well, yeah, you did learn like about a lot of old games that you wouldn't really play now, and like old arcade games and all that stuff. Like when's the last time you really went to the arcade?
Few years.
Let me think.
Few years, yeah.
Arcades.
And plus, I've never actually seen such old games that actually end arcade. Like, if we actually never read the book, we probably would have never actually noticed that there's a game called Joust.
And all the 80s references that they had.
Like,
there are a lot of them. They're in the book and in the movie.
Yeah, I think Joust was a pretty good game, but also Black Tiger was another game that we would have never figured out unless we watched the movie and read the book, because it does explain that in both of them. So, I mean, yeah, it does kind of make it easier, not really as hard, not harder, but easier to kind of, you know, experience the 80s, but not actually in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
So do you guys think that the world will improve after this?
Within time, I believe it could. Especially now where the Oasis is safely in the Gunther's lead in the High Five's hands. They have better plans for the Oasis than IOI did.
Yeah, I think it was better for them that IOI didn't have control over that. Because it
Plus,
turned
I
out
mean,
different.
If IOI did get control, they would make you pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I mean, you should be
And
able
that
to
you're
go
money
for
from
free,
the
yeah,
real
because
world.
for school, right? You know,
You
you
got
can't
free
pay
schooling.
to go to school unless it's a private school, but yeah. You
And
can't
they already
pay.
didn't have that much money anyway, so
To begin with.
Yeah.
we're gonna have to cut that out.
What about the real world too? Like you guys know the state of the real world. That's gonna get
The
better.
real world is in a terrible state, but I feel like it would probably get better.
Yeah,
If they
with
go,
more
if
money
they
and revenue.
like partially go along with Artemis's plan
Mhm.
and start helping the world, I think it would turn out a little
Yeah,
bit better.
especially
Because
It's
in a way,
green
you just want to like,
grass.
he said something like, oh, he just wants to leave. or
spacecraft,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like I feel like if they did it like by cities, but like stack cities, like one after another, they'll like
Fix it
gradually
up,
improve
yeah.
everything all together at once.
What do you think about Wade finally meeting Artemis at the end?
Oh my god.
I feel like that was like the best part
It
for his
was.
life. Like,
Really, for me, it was really cringy.
I mean, he already previously known what she looked like due to her IOI card.
Yeah, but the
But-
information that he did.
Being body to somebody versus the same person through a card is much different. You can see their expressions, their smiles, their frowns, the uncertainty.
I feel like he kept his feelings the same throughout the story towards her. Like, he never changed.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, but
Besides
yeah,
when
his,
she
his
wasn't
focus
really
changed.
messing with him like that in the party.
I mean,
Yeah.
his focus changed quite a lot,
Yeah.
though. Like,
yeah, when he started focusing more on himself.
contest,
Mm.
Artemis, back to contest, and at the end, Artemis
Artemis.
again. Yeah.
Mhm.
I really liked when he was like focused on improving himself, like his health, and
Yeah.
just like his fitness. Cause
Getting better.
a video gamer, they just sit there all day. and
Yeah.
Mhm.
What did you guys think of the story?
It was action packed.
I liked the book.
It was intriguing.
I think it was interesting because I only read books if it's about things based on true stories or like documentaries and stuff like that. So it was something different for me to start reading, but it grabbed my attention pretty quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the action and like
Mhm.
everything going on all at once. It's just like your mind just gravitates towards it and you see it in your head.
And like if you think about it, that can potentially be our world because how technology is progressing.
Sure. I personally think that it was more on the mellow side for me, not one of my personal favorite reads. But I did enjoy it overall.
What are your thoughts on the final battle and the end of the contest?
I think the build-up in both the movie and the book were quite well placed and well executed. In the movie, the final battle was a lot more intense due to the fact that they were being thrown around while in this battle, while in a car chase. So there was good back and forth between in virtual reality and in the book itself. Well, not book, but the game in real life.
What are your thoughts on the final battle and the end of the contest?
I hated it. I hated it
Why?
because
Defend your answer.
it was so close. I hated it because
Yeah.
it was so close.
I see.
It basically was anybody's game.
But it made you stand on the edge of your chair. Exactly.
There we go. I'm at the edge of my chair now.
That was when he was on the ship, right?
Mm-mm. I thought personally the fight was like intriguing and made it more exciting and made the chapters fly after that. At the end of the book, the fight breaks out between the Gunthers and the IOI people.
Sixers.
Sixers, yep. And it's basically a race to whoever can beat the last game of the gate, which turned out to be
Adventure.
And the IOA was trying to beat Adventure, like beat the whole game. But the Gunthers knew in specifics, Wade knew that in order to open the gate and get the egg, you don't have to beat Adventure, you have to
Find the Easter egg.
And then in that Adventure game you find
The real
the
creator's
creator's
name.
name.
That's hidden in a secret room.
You know, yeah, I didn't.
And once he does that, he
Opens the gate and he wins the contest and he gets the golden egg.
all while all of this is being broadcast to all the Oasis players.
Yeah, like live feed.
Live feed, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was interesting because, like you said, it was everyone against each other. So
BuzzFeed, not copyrighted BuzzFeed.
it was like anybody had the chance to win, basically.
Yeah, it was anybody's game, really.
And
Would you recommend Ready Player One to a friend and why?
Yes.
The book.
Yeah, I would recommend the book more. I feel like it came together so well, and it was just so thought out, and just like everything was just like
It flowed a lot
it
better.
flowed.
I would recommend the book, and then I would recommend to watch the movie
Yeah.
after the book, so you
Mhm.
can see the
differences.
compare and contrast.
I'd just wait till they had read the book, and then I'd be like, oh hey, by the way, there's a movie. So they won't be like, okay, let me go watch the movie first, and then they won't want to read the
Well,
book.
actually, it kind of goes both ways because if they read the book and then go watch the movie, you know how there's certain like scenes in the book, if you would say, that are not in the movie, so they're gonna be like, oh, why
Like,
did this part?
Yeah,
like
because-
when he shreds the guitar in the
Yeah.
book, it doesn't.
Why I would do the book before the movie is because the books usually have a lot more detail due to their nature than the movie itself. And when it's more enjoyable watching the movie compared to not having the foresight of certain things that are going to be appearing in the movie. Like in the very final scene of the movie, there's a poster in Halliday's room, and it was of the band cover that was Halliday's favorite song in the book. That was the final key, quest per se to get to the crystal key, which didn't appear at all in the movie. So I think it lent itself to, the director lent the book to the movie very well.
True, even the beginning part, like in the movie, the way that Wade found the key in the movie is completely different than
Yeah,
how he
very
found the key
different. I was about to say.
in the book. He had to play for the key, and I
Mhm.
mean, he had to play for both of them.
Yeah, he played jumps
But-
with Anorak to be able to get the key, the first key.
Yeah,
But in the
it was-
movie-
In the movie, he raced.
He
By the way,
raced for-
spoilers.
Probably should have said at the beginning, spoiler alert. Yeah, but I think the race was a little more action.
Yeah, it was more action packed,
Yeah,
but it
because
wasn't.
if
It
you-
wasn't authentic. You
It
know?
developed the
Like,
story more because he had to go back
Yeah, I
and
was just about
figure
to say
things
that.
out
He
in
still
the
had to go
museum.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still had to research a little bit more, and I think that their perception of the book, the Halliday's book that he went through, when it's actually a robot and is in this big business building, I think that's a lot cooler than just a book that you know you would read, because at least in the Oasis you could walk through that and you could be like, yeah, this is a moment that I remember and it is also a lot easier for him to actually find certain clues.
It was actually a good plot device now that I look back at it, because when in the movie that it was a plot device in itself, and I give Spielberg credit where credit's due, and that was a very smart choice because it introduced us to Ogden's character, which was the robot, and it allowed for development between Wade and Ogden in the movie, unlike in comparison to the book, where there was dialogue that was taken away in the final cut of the movie. The movie made up for that by allowing for this recurring scene in the movie.
Right. Final question. Do you think the world will improve? As in like, what was the name of the world? I'm all over the place.
It was Earth, but it was in 2027.
Yeah,
That's
it was Earth.
I don't think that things would improve.
Even as he won the contest.
Even as he won the contest, because in the book, I'm pretty sure he kept the money all to himself, and that would allow for. Yeah, he kept the money all to himself in the book, which would have been either really good or really bad because he had all of this unlimited power pretty much compared to everyone in the world that did have money. While in the movie, that universe I believe would be a little bit different because the way it looked was that there was still different people with money in comparison to IOI. So he does have a lot of power, but I don't think it would be anything in comparison to what the rest of the world has collectively. Because they're the ones that can still make a difference against him if he decides to use his money for good or evil.
Mhm.
That's a good point.
But I really do believe that in some way, shape, or form, the world will get better. Like the stacks won't be there anymore. Like
Yeah.
it will all be spaced out again. You know, people can see sunlight again.
He probably would have made different rules, and
Yeah.
certain things would have been allowed, certain things would not have been allowed, and even in the Oasis, he probably would have changed certain
I feel
rules
like him
around.
and
Yeah.
Artemis minds together with trying to help the world would give like a really good optimistic feature
In
to the future.
Without Artemis, I feel he was a little bit sadistic and like had a little bit of psychosis going on, because he didn't really have a grasp on reality when we encountered him.
He didn't have friends. He didn't really have like a
So
family.
yeah, I think
to
he would
talk
have,
to.
with that unlimited power, he would have not really saw people's lives as really like important in comparison to the amount of money
It's
he
like
has.
his feelings were triggered, so like he's able to like feel more instead of like just being trapped in a place where it's all monotone.
Yeah.
And I think that, if they did share the money, Artemis and Wade, I think that it would be used for good, because Artemis does explain that she does want to help the world. She does want to make the world a little bit better, even though Wade did say that he technically wanted to make
to
a
a different
spaceship,
planet.
and
Leave everyone behind.
Yeah. I think that he's not going to decide that knowing that he meant Artemis. She knowing that her passion is not to leave Earth, but to better Earth and make Earth green again. So I think that he'll take consideration to that and think about the choices with that money.
So she physically and literally grounded him.
Yeah.
It's that women power that we.
She brought his mind back to reality, grounded him in that way, and then she grounded his space flight dreams by.
And I think that one of the changes was actually in the movie. At the end, it kind of showed like how they would change it. But if you watch till the end, they did say that they closed the Oasis Tuesdays and Thursdays so that you could spend time in the real world. I think that's like one of the changes that is kind of a good thing, because they're having people be social not only in the Oasis,
but in real life,
but outside the Oasis.
It's almost like the children who grew up in the Oasis don't really have that social interaction with others, because all they learned was the Oasis. They had school there, they had their friends there. No one really knew who you really were, which is what the anonymous part is the best.
And personally, I think that if people are more social, it would actually help the world, because if you're in the Oasis, you don't care about your surroundings. What you care about is you care about the Oasis, and that's it. So them in the movie closing it for Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think that actually would be like a step forward to helping the Earth come back to where it was before the Oasis was created.
social improvement, I guess. That's improvement, I guess.
Yeah.
Movie universe is better. Book universe is worse, I believe.
Yeah, basically. The book made it more not sadly, but it made it more real. Like that's where all the emotion was coming from.
Maybe that'll end up to our world one day. We'll just be full of
Hopefully
technology.
I'll be dead by then.
Wow, that is took a
Our
real
world's
turn.
taken
All right,
over by robots.
let's end it.
You weren't around in the 1980s. Did this make the story harder to read?
No.
Yeah, for me, because I didn't get a lot of the references that they had in there. And John Halliday, oh my God, James Halliday.
John. Wow.
James Halliday put a lot of 80s references in there that I didn't really catch.
I mean,
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. You know, even though I wasn't born in the 80s, I think that Wade kind of made it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I feel like Wade
like
made it
he explained
They gave
it quite a
tips.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
because he knew so much. So
It was
he-
like, I don't know if you guys have the same problem, but in like English, I don't know if it's poetry or what is Romeo and Juliet?
Play.
A play? Yeah, you know how like the dialogue is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and it's like, oh, what does that mean? Like, what did they say? But when somebody explains it, it's like, oh, you wouldn't even think that that's what it was that it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't like that. It was like more understandable because, like you said, Wade explained everything and gave tips and stuff. So I don't think.
Yeah,
it was...
he kind of drove it a little bit. So, let's end it here. This was the Wilby High School English Minutes panel discussion for the second half of the novel Ready Player One. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.